Make some noise. Hadithi.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am dressed for Hadithi. If not dressed like this, I don't know where you are going. Maybe you were going somewhere else and then you got dropped off here. Right. Thank you very much once more for being here. This is actually the 8th installment of Hadithi. Now, if you can count, we have them monthly, each month. So which means we've had 7 other ones. They've been running for 8 months. Wow. And what are we trying to do here? We're just trying to allow ordinary people to share their lived experiences so that we can understand them better, understand each other better, but more than anything, build tolerance. But I think what is important about this kind of platform is that most of us have stories, and we know this about ourselves, but we think our stories don't matter. You see, right? We think our stories don't matter. Here's the thing about being in South Africa, particularly in the African continent, is because there is a story about this country that seeks to identify all of us. And so what it does is summarizes who we are. And that is such an unfortunate position to be in. I was speaking to some guys and I was saying, I'm going to Uganda. They're saying, what are you going to do in Uganda? I said, I'm going to see how people in Uganda are living. They say, yeah, but what's happening in Uganda? I say, it doesn't matter what's happening in Uganda. What matters is that I want to meet people and understand their lived experiences. That is what is important. Because let's face it, when we think about the continent, we're left with a summary of the countries that we dare to know of. Particular example, Zimbabwe. When someone says Zimbabwe, we just think, what do we think? And it. But when you go to Zimbabwe, you're actually astonished that life is happening. People are waking up, going to school, going to work, going to trade. Life is happening. And so, what should come into our minds is that if we never take the time to share our lived experiences, how much of the world do we actually miss? And simply summarize to what we hear, or perhaps what we see on media that comes into our faces. So Hadithi is about those experiences. You say, yes, I see that, but here's my story. And I promise you, what we've experienced over the many months that we've been doing this is that sense that actually we're not as different as we thought. And of course, we don't understand each other as we thought we did. And today, we're here to understand the strength that's within a woman, and it? Yes. Strength in the woman, right? Because let's face it, right? These are trying times, and we must recognize who is the support structure of society. And I know I'm a guy, so guys be like, don't sell us out. Hey, brah, women have been running this show, eh? Mm-hmm. And so we need to learn from them and understand how that strength come about. We want to hear stories of different experiences, but more than anything, we want to hear stories that make us realize that sometimes we think people are just strong, but they have to work at it. They have to build themselves, to build the people around them. And I come from a society that was really supported by women. So I understand what women had to go through when I was growing up. And so I'm here today saying that it's the more I can learn. And that's what we're looking forward to today. But before I get started and get into the business of the day, let me just introduce some few people that are helping us make sure this evening is happening. On my right here, yeah, that's the right. It's that bad education, eh? Fat Kid Music. He's been with us. So he's been with us the entire time, and I mean you can hear the stuff, right? Check him out on his social media platforms: Fat Kid Music on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Yeah, that's it. And Twitter as well, right? And connect with him if you're looking for a composer, producer. There's your man right here, right? Because your life must be a production, okay? If there's no background music, what are you even doing? When you get to work with no background music. What? Background music here. We've got Q over there is our sound engineer. Sound is a very important thing I've come to learn when you put in events like this. I just thought, just put a microphone. But no, it's very complex. And he's the guy who makes sure that you can hear me very well. He's the guy who makes sure that my voice sounds like water. Like the water, right? On this side of the sky, she's helping us on the videography side. She's a fantastic lady. She escorted us all the way to Beira in the last week or so. I think we'll hear tales about that trip and what we were trying to make sure that happens for our people who were affected by the big cyclone in Mozambique, Zimbabwe, and Malawi. We've got William on this side, a veteran videographer, and I don't have to convince that he's a veteran. Look at him, veteran, right? Veteran. We will be joined a bit later by Empress, who will be doing some singing. So I'll introduce her when she gets here. But I think most importantly, it's you, all of you. Give yourself a round of applause and say, Hadithi Joe.
Hadithi Joe.
Round of applause. We're jam-packed on the program this evening. And so I will dive into it just to make sure that we keep it swiftly, we keep it moving, we keep it flowing, and we are out of here in time for tomorrow's festivities. We all know that tomorrow is about the road and the pretense to go to work. Right? And so we have to be early to go and pretend to be here for work.